When my wife asked you, you only asked for one little necklace that was round her neck, and I have given you 10 times more and you are asking me anything else? He says, yeah. Why? Because at that time she did not know the worth. Now you know the worth. And the price is not only your whole kingdom, if you were to give, will be sufficient. You have to give your whole life for it. You have to give yourself up as well as your kingdom. Then I might think of building it.
Yeah. Might think of it.
Yeah. When you know the worth of it, the price increases. When you do not know, so then Baba tells us that when you all have come and you all are by my side, a little thing that you do becomes great without knowing anything. But when the world will know who I am, and they would want to offer their kingdoms, that will be too little. Then they will want to offer themselves and the kingdoms, then we'll think about it, Baba says. Yeah. So such are the things, Why he favors us and why he not favors is left to him.
And there is another story continues. He is invited for feast.
That's a different thing, yeah. That's a different thing, yeah.
This is not a continuation. Another story.
Another story that is, yeah.
So Baba said repeatedly that all are fortunate, all are very fortunate. Said about all his lovers. Several times Baba said, all his lovers are very fortunate.
That's
I
true.
remember it very vividly in 55 at Baba Samadhi. Standing near Samadhi, he said in 55.
Yeah. You remember that time when he took us up there?
Yes.
Yeah. How blessed you people are. He says, I am leading you up this place. It's my last resting place. 70 years from now, this place will become a place of world
After
pilgrimage.
dropping this body,
After
70 years from
fine.
the dropping of the body.
Dropping of the body.
70 years from now, he said. Yeah. 70 years from now, if I remember.
Like that.
Whatever it be. Who's going to live for it? It is left to these young ones. So 70 years from now, or whatever it be after he drops his body, so this place will become a place of world pilgrimage. And how blessed you all are that I am leading you in flesh.
You are all very, very fortunate. Yeah. And also said, however much I want to impress upon you, you
will never be able to understand
and realize how fortunate you are.
Yeah.
Yet I say you are all very fortunate.
Yeah.
Baba said there at the tomb on that day.
Baba Sahib left the place now. When are you going to tell? He wants to collect information. Afternoon. Okay. After you have lunch. How you all have brought your lunch with you?
Yes.
What did you bring today?
Today is tomato bath.
Tomato bath. Who prepared?
Not tiger bath. Tomato bath. He says tiger bath. Yesterday it was tiger bath mixed with some other bath. But today is not tiger bath.
Tomorrow potato bath. Baba did some poor work too. He was washing the feet of poor people. Is it connected with in previous incarnations also? Was there such kind of work Baba did tell anything? And he was distributing some rupees, 2 rupees, 3 rupees like that. Baba, I remember somewhere read it is linked with the financial position and the earth. So is it correct?
Is what linked with?
You bring some financial changes on the.
We do it like that. He never used to say that. He never. Why should
but
he
we
say
have
that?
connected.
We have connected it that way.
He never said by himself.
Yeah, because at the time of what you call famine and all that, it is obvious that there is famine and all that. Sometimes he would say that, see how many poor people are there and all that, they are starving and all. Let's do something, let's go out. And that he would do. But without famines also he would do that. Yeah.
Bengal famine, Baba,
yeah, we went there. We went to Darbhanga and all those places. Calcutta, from Calcutta we went. Yeah, at that time. At that time it was so great a famine. I still remember on the streets of Calcutta, horses, they would drop their flops there, shit. So there the poor people will run there, Even if you eat a banana and throw the skin somewhere, there will be a crowd there.
Calcutta.
Calcutta. I've seen that with myself, with my eyes. Such a terrible
Bengal
situation,
famine.
Bengal famine.
Then Baba went there and did
Yeah.
some work.
In the interiors he went.
Interiors.
Yeah.
Even I think they have taken permission from government also, while running the camps
Yeah.
and all this, distributing his food to people, several thousands.
What happened
Real
one
kind.
day, and let us digress a little bit. Yeah, it is like that. But listen to what you have said just now. It's a very nice story. It happened in, you know Bhav Kalchuri? Bhav? In his mind, he had not come on that tour. He didn't know anything about that. He came late and it was there. He came a little late. He joined Baba late. So what happened was that when he joined and all that, well, he had all his different views. He wanted to join Vinoba Bhave and all that sort of thing. And there is a nice history behind his life. He came to Baba and he, very willingly he served Baba and loved Baba and worked and all that. So, as usual, Baba would make us read the paper, which he called bogus news. Yeah, after the reports and all that are read and all that. There's still time for bogus news, you'll see, still time, has the paper come and all that. So we'll read out. So in that, Bhav, I would read in English, so Bhav would be there with the other only hearing. Such a famine is raging all throughout the country. So many businessmen, you see, have opened, that gruel kitchen centers, gruel centers, they called it, and so forth and so on. You know, those kitchens were opened and all that by Tatas and Birlas and this and that, and so many big business people and all that. So many were there. Yeah. So I would read out headlines only, or sometimes I would say, read this, say to them. So it went on for nearly 2 weeks. Things would, every now and then there would be another center open, another thing, so many have died, so many are starving and all that. So it affected his mind. Bhav's impressions were there. So when he went there, he would be going to Baba for night watchman in turns. We will be in turns for a few hours. So when his turn was there, he was with Baba. In his mind, it was fresh that this is whatever are we doing here? Are we doing any selfless service with Baba? See how the people in the world are doing selfless service and all that sort of thing. Because so the newspapers would report what a grand selfless service it is. See how the so and so has opened such a big kitchen. You see where 10,000 people are being fed every day, and what a service it is. And extolling the services.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah. So he, while pressing Baba's body, he gets this thought, you see, that what are we doing? Are we really doing anything? We are not doing anything. And see how these people have the opportunity to do selfless service. And and then while doing that, while he gets lost in thoughts, naturally the pressure on his Baba's body is less. You become, when you are very big, so Baba would do like this. Come on. So he will do like that, you see. That's how it is. So thrice he did that. So Baba says, what's the matter with you? What are you trying to do? Are you dozing or what? So he says, no, I'm thinking. So what are you thinking? Then the whole thing came out. So then he reported to Baba what he is thinking. Baba got up from his bed, lying bed. He sat down on his bed. And then he tells Bhav that, do you think that these people who are reported to be doing selfless service, are they doing selfless service? He says, no. They are doing so-called selfless service to serve their self. Why? Because first and foremost so much is deducted from their taxation. Another is name and fame. Another is having headlines in the papers, and so forth. There are many strings attached to the self. They are doing selfless service in the name of their own self, you see. What you are doing here, and nobody can, then he said, nobody can do selfless service. Nobody who is still caught in the maya of oneself can do selfless service. Only the one who is totally liberated from it can do selfless service. Nobody can do it. Only the perfect masters can do selfless service. Or I, who am the Lord of all, I am the one who does selflessly. I see to that. So now that you are serving me, are you serving me for sake of money? Do you take any money from me? No. Are you here for your name or fame or anything? No. So this is, you are doing service to me, who is a selfless server, who is the self of all. So this is the greatest of selfless service that you are doing, you see. Without any strings attached, without any thought of yourself, you are serving the one who serves the whole universe. How much more it should be. Those people, you think that they are doing services? No. They are doing it for the sake of evading taxes, getting deductions from taxes, getting name and fame in the paper, big bold letters, the name should appear. They feel happy about it. Do you feel happy about all these things? No, you don't. You have nothing to show off. So this is real selfless service that you are doing, and that is full of self. Yeah. So, likewise, he had said about this, giving money or giving this easing the economic situations and all that. He never himself said, but we have deduced from it that it might be helping and all that. On the contrary, there's a nice story that Baba's sister tells us that Baba's mother would feel very much when Baba would fast. Baba had observed silence. You know, after all, mother feels for the son, isn't it? Observing fast for 6 months and all that. So Baba, when mother would come to Baba, says, why don't you tell these youngsters who are around you to fast for you, to observe silence? Now that you say that you are God, why is it necessary for you to do all this sort of thing? Make them do it. So then Baba said that if the whole world were to observe fast, for a year, it won't tantamount to the fast that I observed for one day. If the whole world were to observe silence, it won't tantamount to my observance of silence for one day silence. Yeah, it's like that.
The whole world observe
silence, fast and silence.
Then why should he wash the feet of it? He has the highest of the high.
Yeah.
He washed the feet of it.
Yeah, he not only washed the feet of them, but he bowed down at their feet. He dried their feet properly and then bowed down, put his forehead, mind you, to their feet. And then offer them. And you know what, at the time of offering, what he would want us to say? Naturally, he didn't speak. So he wanted us to say this, wanted me to say it. So I would say it. So every time he would say, he would hold the gift, you see, packet. It will be a big bundle of clothing. Cloth plus grain inside. So all this he would hold like that and say, he would do like that. Means I have to repeat. I will say that, please accept this gift of God and oblige him. Like that, in vernacular. So then at the same time he would lift and give it.
This is given by some brothers.
Pardon?
This is given by my brothers. You will also tell them.
No, not here. That is when I would say, when I would be sent out, that is a different thing. That's a different. This is in his presence. It is Baba saying, Baba is not saying, Baba is silent, so how will he know? So Baba will say it out. So then it's a stock phrase. This is a gift from God. Please accept it and oblige him. Yeah. So then they will take it and then Baba will bow down. Yeah. It's just a guideline for us all. You see that the thing is that the giver is not obliging. Remember this, Baba. Baba wants us to remember this for all times. It's not the one who gives obliges other. The one who accepts from you is obliging you.
That is well
It means
explained.
the one,
Beautiful word, mastery inside.
the one who is receiving that gift.
Yeah. He is obliging you by receiving it.
All the way.
All throughout. Yeah, he is
Generally.
helping
But
you.
where is Baba is established?
Baba is what?
No, generally, whenever we get something, we will.
But this is, he is establishing that. He is establishing this adage, this same thing, this thought, this by saying it out like that, by doing it like that.
Please oblige.
Yeah. Oblige him. Oblige him.
God alone gives it.
Yeah.
But we are
It
obliged
is-
to God.
It is God, yeah.
must be obliged to God.
In order to establish that, he does that himself. Otherwise, how will he establish? Suppose if he were to say, hey, have it. How will that be established? But him doing it, living what he says, is the precept. Precept means that. He has to live what he says to that, no? That's why he does that. Why after Parvadaga prayer and repentance prayer also he used to bow down to our
Yes,
feet.
yes.
And Dr. Deshmukh got so wild about it, and what is this? What has happened to Baba now, that whom we took him to be the avatar and all that he's bowing down to these people here like that. So that's how it is. Yeah, you can't understand that. But his adoration for those whom he loves. Did he not bow down to you all there in the pandal when he went to give darshan there?
Yes, yes.
He will first sit on his chair, then he gets up and says, sit, be seated,
Yes,
then
yes.
he bows down. So I bow down to your love.
And I am one with you
And I
all.
am one with you all, as I am one with you all.
Even in Andhra tour, when Baba first visited, he sent instructions. None should be allowed to bow down to me unless I bow down first.
Yeah. So he wants to establish these things, you see. Because time and again, when he establishes certain thing and goes away from our midst, from our eyesight, again we fall back in the same rut.
Same
So
rut.
again he has to re-establish it.
Remind,
Again,
yes.
remind.
Remind. Goes on reminding.
Yeah, that's how it is. So these things he does that.
His reminder serves for 700 or 1400 years. And again we have
Mani, she has come now.
She has come.
Yeah.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Remind you all that.
Let us also hear from Sister
She says that she has come to remind you that it's time for lunch.
Lunch will take 5 minutes later now, man.
She'll talk to you all in Telugu now.
Good.
very happy.
Tadapalligudam, Machilipatnam, Vijayawada.
Machilipatnam, Vijayawada. Bejawada. Not
No,
Vijayawada.
I was just talking to someone who had only one thing to say to me. When I said, is anything troubling you? He said, I feel what I am receiving from Baba, the privilege of being here, bowing down to his stone, I'm not worthy of it. And that's what is troubling me. And I said, don't waste your time in worrying about whether you are worthy or not. As long as you are fortunate, that's what matters. Because that is his grace. And because that grace is, if Baba gave only according to our worthiness, none of us would be around. How can you be worthy of him? But that we have his grace is enough. Baba would tell us a number of times, you all have no idea how fortunate you are. He would say these yogis and these austerities that they do on the top of the Himalaya mountains, and Baba would make gestures. They are so old, long beard, long eyelashes, eyebrows hanging over, thinking of me, and they cannot receive what you are receiving now. You have no idea how fortunate. So it is enough. We are fortunate, but what does it matter? When I was a child, when I was little, in school, I had a friend who was very good, very good. I admired her very much because she never told a lie. If teacher or somebody, mother said, did you do this? Yes. I never said yes. I always said no. Even if I was caught doing it. No, I did not do it. No. So I used to look at her and say, how wonderful she can do this. She's so good. She loved Jesus Christ because she was a Christian, Indian Christian, Goanese Christian. So whenever we sat together, she would tell me stories of Christ, of Saint Anne, Saint Teresa, all these, Saint Francis. And I would tell myself, she is so good and she loves Christ so much. So one day it suddenly occurred to me, she is my best friend and I have not told her Christ is again here on earth. What a bad friend I am. I must tell her. So we were sitting outside the chapel. I used to go to the chapel along with her. Because to me, it is Baba. To me, it is real living Christ. So we were sitting on the steps outside. I was munching something. I was always eating something at recess time. It was gur ka jaggery, that toffee made of gur jaggery.
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar. So my face was all brown with the eating. She was sitting and she was telling me about some saint. Suddenly I said to her, I said, do you know? She looked at me. What happened? My brother is Christ. She did not like it. She was very angry. She did not speak to me for a whole month. And long after, then very short while afterwards, I came to Baba for good. And I said to myself, well, she was good, but she missed God. I was not good, but I got God, so what does it matter? You see, it is the good fortune that we have. Why waste time on whether we are worthy or not? The only good thing about that is that we strive to please Him. What does being worthy mean? To please Him, even at the cost of displeasing yourself. Remembering Him, the true remembrance, each time you forget yourself, and remember Him is remember. Forgetting means what? I want to do this, but I know Baba wants, Baba will be happy I do that. So I don't do this, which means forgetting myself. And doing what He wants, would like, is remembering Him. Somebody asked me the other day, what are the happiest moments of your life with Baba? Because I've been with Baba since I was born. But when I was almost 14 years, then I came to Baba for good, meaning not going back to school, not going back to mother or anything like that. So what are the happiest moments of your life with Baba? I said the moments when I have, by His grace, done something which has pleased Him, and He has said, looked at me and said, I'm pleased. I'm happy with you. Those are the happiest moments, when you can please Him. And those moments have not been easy, because I've done it against what I would like to do. So instead of pleasing yourself, you please Him. And even now, when you cannot see Him physically, you will always know what will please Him. And having pleased Him, you will always see His smile. You will always know, you will feel that you have pleased Him. There is nothing else to want. We have never wanted anything else. No experiences, lights, God realization or material. No. It is very foolish of us to love Him for what He has. We must love Him for what He is. He is the treasure. What He has, that is Him. Not because he's like somebody would love a rich uncle, because I will get something from him. No. One day a missionary lady came in my trust office. She brought a book. She also wanted a donation. She was not a Baba lover. I'd never seen her before. And I realized. So after a while we started talking. And we talked about Jesus Christ. And she was very surprised when I said, do you know, I said, I love Jesus Christ more than you Christians do. What? That could not be. I said, yes, because you have put Him on a shelf in a cupboard. That was something long ago. It is not so. If He is love, if He is mercy, then He would not neglect His children. He comes again and again. Every time He puts on a different coat. So then we started talking about Baba. Suddenly the lady drew herself up and said, and what has Meher Baba done? I said, it is not important what Meher Baba has done. What is important is who Meher Baba is. Once you know that, everything. And she was she accepted in the sense that she did not seem irritated. She did not answer. Baba does that. Baba does that. He comes through. And she was very nice. And she did not ask for a donation. And I did not ask for donation. I was prepared.
Both are beggars.
Well, this is the Avatar Baba Trust. We have a free dispensary, and all these. We help the students in the school. But Such are the babies. But unless you have been touched by Baba, unless he has given you the gift of his love, it is difficult to understand. I mean, you cannot blame the people when they talk like that. If you have not got that, then naturally from their angle, this is how it seems. It is like that old story we used to read as a child, that there was an elephant, big elephant, and there were some blind persons. They had never seen an elephant. So they said, no, you have not seen? No. What does it look like? Come, we will show you elephant. There it is in front of you. So each person went and touched the elephant. Then they were asked, now describe to us, you have seen the elephant, you have touched the elephant. What is it like? One said, it's like, I did not know an elephant was this shape, just a long rope like a snake. The elephant is like a snake. The other said, what nonsense you're talking. The elephant is like a pillar, straight big pillar. The third said, I don't know what is the matter with you folks. It is nothing but a thin, small string, and a thin rope. The other said, no, it's like a big soprano soup.
Winnowing fan.
Winnowing fan. You know the soup, the supra.
Yes.
And the third said, I know what an elephant looks. It's like a big house. See, it depends on where each one touched. But that is the mind. Baba gives us straight through the heart. We don't have to. So that recognition comes from contact. It is not just a momentary thing. The momentary thing is when we become aware of it. But we have had this for so many lives, each step nearer to Baba and His grace. I tell myself how fortunate we are that Baba does not demand that we must know everything. Suppose because I am lazy. Supposing we have to study things in order to pass the test of being near Baba. Supposing you had to achieve so much, or to go climb a mountain, or fast for so many days, or this. With Baba it is not that. So it is very nice for people like me, and of course for everyone. Actually what has Baba told us? He has asked very little of us. He simply says, don't worry. Which means, don't be so attached with what we have, because we love our worries, No matter how much we say we don't want to worry, we love our worries. We have worried for many lives. So even while we say, take it away from me, Baba, I don't want this worry, even if it touches it, you cling to it. You see, the worries don't cling to you. You cling to the worries. So Baba has said, don't worry, which means trust me so completely that you leave it to me, which means real trust and relax. So don't worry, love me more and more, which means think of me more and more, and hold on to me. And then Baba, being so compassionate, says, don't worry, but if you must worry, because he knows it is a habit now, a long habit we've had. If you must worry, then worry how to love me more. And he was seated here, and he has said this, that it is so simple that it is almost impossible. Because we cannot grasp the very simple. We want, everything big, showy, like homeopathy pills. It is very difficult to think or realize that it will help you. Homeopathic remedy, those time you look at it and say, this is going to cure me. I still not have much faith in homeopathy, because it looks very small. In the same way, one does not know the potency, but something big, like in the old days, when the patient would come to the doctor and say, she would be given medicine from a big bottle, and the medicine was pink, and another was white.
Right.
And it was the same thing. And she would say, no, doctor, that pink medicine helped me a lot. I must have more of that pink medicine. We want the color, we want it seen like that. So it is so simple that it is almost impossible. Baba was when we were in the New Life, and we were walking from place to place, and Baba would decide where we were to camp for the evening. And the moment we reached that place, all the villagers would see from far there is a very strange party coming. This something that looks like this caravan. It has rubber tires, it has a brake, but it has oxen, bullocks. And these people, they don't look like the ordinary people who are going to pilgrimage. They look like educated, different type of people, and yet they have these men have these robes and turbans, and there are some, and there are strange, and there is a camel cart, and the whole New Life companions, four-legged and two-legged. We made a very strange sight. And Baba, in fact, if Baba was walking in front with Erich Bhai, we four women would be walking behind. The rest of the caravan had gone ahead. And we would see two people going by. In India, it is not so unusual to see somebody in a robe and a turban. So we women at the back, we could watch this. We saw Baba and Erich in front, and we saw some people coming that side, talking very loudly. And they were not arguing, they were just talking. In India, you know how we can talk loud. So they were coming this side, and suddenly Baba would pass by, they would stop. On the other side of the road. They would stop, and they would absolutely stop and be still, and keep staring at Baba and looking at him and following him with their eyes till he was out of sight, even though by that time we passed by. And then when Baba was a little further away, then they would start talking and going. So in the same way, the whole village, wherever we went, the whole village would come and join. The men would go at the men's side, because the men Mandli were always very separate from us. We could see them at a distance. And all the village women would surround us, be where we women were. And sometimes very delightful things would happen. So once when we were sitting there, even among the villagers, there would be different groups according to the castes. We heard later, we did not understand that. So there was this old lady of a lower caste, and she kept looking at Baba with great, with love. And she talked with Baba, and Baba looked at her, and Baba made gestures, and she said to Baba, she said, my legs are aching, my knees I can't bend properly. I used to do this and now I can't, now I'm old and all this, Baba. Baba said called Gaver, go over to the men's side and ask Baidu to give some homeopathy for her. So she came back with that homeopathy pill, and Baba told the old lady, take it. Now we are all watching this. So she looks at these little things in her hand. She says to Baba, I have a big pain, and this little thing is going to cure my big pain? Baba said, yes, very good. I am giving it to you, take it. So she took it. And then we were still around. I tell you, not 10 minutes have gone by. The old lady stands up, and looking at Baba with love, she started dancing. Pain forgotten, the knees bending. And we are witnessing this. We are having great fun watching. So you see, the little things are when they are potent. But we want visible things. We want miracles. We want experiences. When I say we, I mean people. Want something that is flashy, something you can talk about. His is never that way. His way is the silent way. But what you receive can be so big that you cannot accommodate it. Even talking about being worthy, it reminded me of my father. I used to be, it was before even going to school, I was quite little. And I must have questioned, why is this happening, Bobo? And he said, child, the laws of God are finer than the hair of the head. I had longish hair then, and I thought nothing was finer than hair. I still remember I brought one hair before me, and I said, finer than the hair, the laws of God. The law of God is finer than the hair of the head. But after a while he said, but there is the law of grace.
Law of grace.
Grace, which is above all that, which is our saving grace. If that were not there, if we were judged simply by the laws, if we received simply by measure of what we merited or deserved, where would we be? So His grace, always His grace. Jai Baba.
Now time for your lunch, eh? Go
Yes.
for lunch.
I came to rescue you from Eris because Eris Bhai doesn't eat in the afternoon.
It is
And
tough.
he thinks everybody is a yogi or something. No, not needing lunch.
He wants it everything, whatever it is.
Remember your rasam still. She made for us rasam when we were in Guru Prasad. Rasam I still remember.
Who prepared? Mother.
Now I can't eat. Baba's taken away my chilies. I told Baba one day.
I want to see. At the top of your voice, like that. At the Guru Prasada, Baba was in the main hall, and the next room, Baba asked all of us to go inside. And he was listening one side, and one side he is conducting meeting also. The other side is going on music, and something was going on there. And he was enjoying our talking voice at the top of this one. One publication book has come, no, not this way. No, some other says, no, this way. That, like that, each man used to exchange views, and that views into handing into anger, fit of anger, and then words and blows. Like that, come to that. It has come to that stage. Then Baba clapped like that for everyone. I can tolerate any anger, but not the mirchi anger, he said. That was the time, Baba, I used the word mirchi. Chilies. Lavangam, they call it.
Yes, Lavangi Mirchi.
Lavangi mirchi. Lavangi is different.
Tongue is different. It is
Lavangi is different, mirchi is different. He has used twice, mirchi once and Lavangi once. Lavangi he has used here at Maharaja.
No, but there is a quality of
Lavangi
mirchi.
Blue, and that
Lavangi
is,
mirchi, very small and supposed to be
Ah.
the most pungent.
Yes, pungent.
chili you can have.
This is called Deshawali.
It's very common in Ceylon. I've seen it mostly in Ceylon.
ये भी बन गया
Very small, like cloves. But my God, even if you brush your hand against the leaves, your hand will start smarting.
Wow. How they will
Jima?
how they will remove?
I don't know how these, but I have seen these Ceylonese, they are eating one chili with each morsel of food. You and I cannot eat one small bit of it, but they would eat the whole chili with each morsel of food.
eat really very
Very hot.
even at breakfast time.
Karvadinga? Sir.
Your name is Dolly, isn't it? Tonight we'll meet. Yes.
In the night I go to sleep.
Mr. Dastur,
During the day.
no, Dastur said at about 8:30. No? Jal.
Jal will meet you.
Jal will meet. And why don't you should also share with us.
I can't talk.
Not necessarily. What is talking? It is only an exchange of views. Get together. It's not talking.
Sam is the best one.
It is not a debate.
Thousands of stories.
Mr. Mirchi, I'm sorry I called you that.
You
because
can-
I don't know your real name.
Manik Rao.
Rao.
Manik. Baba used to call me Manik.
Mani.
Manik.
Emerald.
Manikya Rao.
Ruby. Manik is Ruby.
Once one of a very close friend of Abraham Lincoln died.
Acha.
So Abraham Lincoln went to pay his respects. And all he did was he sat beside the bed of that man who had died. He was still lying on his bed. Funeral arrangements were being still made and all. And he never uttered a word to anyone, neither to the wife nor the guests who were present there. And after half an hour he put on his hat and walked out. And then the man's wife much later told all her friends that amongst all the visitors who came for that condolence visit, she only remembered Abraham Lincoln for his silence. So Dolly is like that.
That is the noteworthy. Yes, yes. Not praiseworthy, noteworthy. You know what happened? Once in Rajamundry meeting, night at about 2 o'clock in the night. Baba commenced meeting at 9 o'clock in the night. It went on till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. to arrest boredom. At 12:30, Baba gave coffee with his hands to all of those who were assembled there. At that time, I was in a very angry mood. Angry in the sense, why? Because I brought out one book on Baba in the year 1954. One book containing Baba's life sayings. That Kutumba Sastri, our ex-chairman, he raised some objections technically. I did not care for his objections because I want to produce a book and distribute to the people. Then the same question was put before Baba in the silent, in the Savas, in the cabin at Mehrabad. I was called in. The meeting, Yerich was there, Kutumba Sastri was there, the Mallikarjun was there, the Dr. Dhanpati was there. Baba, you have selected these people for distributing, for doing your work in Andhra Pradesh. Why did they put spokes for doing Baba your work? I don't call them. They are elderly people. But they should not, you must also see that they should not create any hurdles in doing your work. I did not do anything harm. I produced one book at my cost. I didn't ask them. I spent my money for this book. I didn't ask. But if there is anything wrong in Baba, in collecting material, they can raise objection. And then Kutumba Sastri said, Baba, at the Delhi convocation, there is one lecture given by Dr. Deshmukh and Niranjan Singh. And he got it cycle style and distributed in the year 1954. I am talking about 1954, this incident. And it was raised before Baba during the Savas 1955. Then I said, Baba, out of my curiosity and my anxiety, whatever little I know, I get it typed. Because I know typing, I get it typed. Distribute to people, because many people do not know. In the Andhra Pradesh, I am the linking man to each center. Because I take the initiative of getting things done, supply them, distribute them. Suppose if you come, I take them from one place to one place. That is what my build page I do. I will accompany you throughout, because when Jol came, when Adi came, when whoever comes to Andhra Pradesh, I was the only man who has accompanied them, taking them to each center, introduce them, distribute them, like that, my helping hand, like that. Adi with thrice or four times again. I was along when Sarosh Billu came, I was with them. Like that, many people have come to Andhra Pradesh. Baba sent many people. When Rick Chapman came, like that, they raised objection. Then Baba said, he told me, called me, you can do out of enthusiasm, you wanted to do anything. But at the same time, you show them also, there is nothing wrong. I don't mind in showing them. But at the same time, they must not put some spoke, not to release the pamphlet. Because there are subtle letters Baba used to send. When Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru passed away, he sent one letter through Kutumba Sastri to show it to some people, read it and bring it back. It is only a confidential matter to certain people. Like that when Lal Bahadur Shastri passed away. Like that when Aravind Ghosh passed away, there were some instructions. Show it, bring it back. Like that, certain letters. Such things if you divulge to those who are not interested in Baba, that you can take up with us. But man, in those days, 1954 months, everyone was new. Because Baba just sent only Yerich and Pendu in advance to do some field work for his stay. At that time, you must know. When Yerich came, I do not know anything, to my house first. Yerich, Pendu, both of them have come in 1953 first. Then 54 came. I never knew anything. That's why Balnada was asking, did you know anything about Baba prior to meeting him? I don't know anything. I received him as a great man, not that I know about his divinity, and I don't know anything. As a great man, I respect. Like that, in that meeting, what happened? The discussion took place about book. I got angry with these Kutumba Sastri, and then Baba got wild and asked me to get out from this meeting, like that, with a very furious look in that. Although he was silent, in that way he said, ask me to get out from that hall for 5 minutes. Then as per Baba's orders, I went out, sat there, and immediately Baba also came out. He came out and called me, gave me embrace. What is this? Like that. Here it was there. He was telling, don't be so much angry mood and all before me. You must forget all. You must eliminate all your anger. Like that, he said. and then come on, I give you coffee. First, he started giving coffee with me first, and then others followed, like that. In his presence, we expressed our anger in many ways. In those days, earlier days, not now. We are so humble now. We forgot. Of course, anger is still there as long as we take rice and this. The anger. But when we met Baba, the anger was so much, climax. And then, I think 360 degrees, at least 300 degrees in those days.
Now 3 degrees.
Now, you know. Like that. That's why the anger, I think he draws his man. Like that, I think so. Like fisherman. Fish.
In the early Merapak days, his mother was cooking for Baba. I told you that.
Guy man.
And one day Baba came and told her, what is this I hear that you add sugar in everything that you prepare for me? You put sugar in rice, you put sugar in dal, you put sugar in everything. Are you crazy? This will give me diabetes. Don't you value my life? How important my existence is to my creation and all that. Very angry and all. And every 5 minutes he told her, now remember, from tomorrow no sugar. And everyone saying, yes Baba, she's got very bad habits of adding sugar in everything. I mean, changes the entire taste of the food and all that. No sugar from tomorrow, I will get diabetes. You're mad, this, that. For 1 hour or at least 1.5 hours, he insisted on all that.
The family, and I didn't have to wait very long before my neighbour, who was very close, the house next door, came in and said, oh, she said, Anthony, she said, there's a very nice, charming American here who's been looking for you. He's an officer, a naval officer, and he's gone back to the base, I think. So I rushed in. I thought this was very exciting. She didn't say any more than that, and I rang the base. She gave me his name because he told her his name. So I rang the base and said, "Is Lieutenant Flick there?" "No," they said. He's out somewhere. So that was no good. But I didn't have to wait very long either, because shortly there was another knock on the door, and I opened the door, and there was Bart, boing. And somehow you have this intuitive flash. I just thought, well, I know Bart. I know him so well. I just felt I knew him. He was just completely... I didn't know anything about him at that stage, but I just felt I knew him. And do you know what? He stayed with me in fact, my wife was away for a week. He stayed with me that week. And all of a sudden the house was full again. And he said he had got my name from the Awakener magazine. There were two things he wanted to do when he was in New Zealand. One was to visit me, and the other was to go